61. Sovereign Power. One of the persistent problems in theology has been the failure of theologians to begin with the triune God and His inscriptured Word. They seek instead borrowed armour premises taken from the world of humanistic thought. Cornelius van Til based Christian thought firmly on God-centred foundations, on God and His Word, and the humanistic theologians reacted with horror. Whether in the area of theology, exegesis, philosophy, economics, education, church and state, political theory, or anything else, our presuppositions and starting point are determinative. Ultimately, our world can be no larger than our given, our presupposition. The Cartesian presupposition of the autonomous mind of man has given us, in post-Kantian thought, only the autonomous mind of man, or existential premises. Because the universe is the creation of the triune God, and because the realm of the mind and its potentialities are also God's creation, the boundaries as well as the channels of thought in every sphere are of His ordination. Man may make wrong arrangements, but they're wrong because God's order is determinative. They are inevitable categories of thought because it is God's creation, not man's. Time does not reverse itself, nor do the years make us younger and return us to our mother's womb. Thus, when fallen man seeks sovereign power, he does not invent the concept. He claims, rather, that which God alone truly possesses. When man attempts to be sovereign, or when the state claims sovereignty, they seek thereby to be as God and to replace Him. This is a vain attempt and a very costly one in terms of human misery. The claim takes a number of forms, of which the following are notable. First, every lord, sovereign, or God is the source of law. Thus, the non-Christian state has consistently claimed to be the creator or maker of law. The lawmaking power is a claim to ultimacy, a claim to be the determiner of good and evil, of right and wrong. Second, sovereign power means ultimate property rights over men, things, and the earth. Scripture declares repeatedly what Psalm 24 verse 1 joyfully affirms: "The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein." The modern state claims not stewardship over the earth, but ultimate and essential power. Hence, it asserts its claim to eminent domain over all. Third, the modern state claims taxing powers. The tithe is God's tax. In Exodus chapter 30, verses 11 to 16, God provides for a civil tax, whereby a covering or civil atonement is to be secured. This tax presupposes a limited civil government, which functions under God and as His ministry of justice. In fact, this tax went through the tabernacle, God's throne room, to the civil authorities, since civil government was set forth as an aspect of God's ministry over man. Romans chapter 13, verses 1 to 8. Fourth, the sovereign power is the determiner of good and evil. According to Scripture, this is God's prerogative. "I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things." Isaiah chapter 45, verses 5 to 7. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass, when the Lord commanded it not? Out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth not evil and good. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 37 and 38. The modern state seeks to define good and evil autonomously. It exemplifies original sin thereby, the will to be good, to determine or know good and evil independently of God. Genesis chapter 3, verse 5. This drive places it in conflict with the true church. Fifth, the determination of the right to live or die, the power over life and death, is a manifestation of sovereign power. God declares, "See now that I, even I am He, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hands." Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. The modern state kills on its own authority in several ways, most prominently now by means of abortion. It routinely claims the right to regulate life and death independently of God's law because it claims sovereign power. Sixth, the sovereign state moves steadily into total planning and control, that is, into the predestination of men and society, because this follows as a logical outcome of its claims to sovereignty. The power state exercises its power over its people, their lives, economies, and thought. Seventh, sovereign power controls the movement of things. We read of the nations and their peoples that God hath determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. Acts chapter 17, verse 26. Before World War I, passports were viewed as common to oppressor states and as relics of tyranny, such as that of the Turkish Empire. Beginning in the late 19th century, passports and travel restrictions have increased rapidly and are now routine. Mind control, travel restrictions, monetary controls, and much, much more are examples of status restrictions on human freedom and movement. Not surprisingly, but logically, when the state begins to play God, it soon sees the faithful people of God as its enemies and wages war against them. This amazed Tertullian, who pleaded with Rome that the emperor had no more loyal citizens, faithful and honest taxpayers, and more law-abiding subjects than the Christians. Why then persecute his best people? The emperors, however, were logical in persecuting the Christians, logical but evil. They recognized that the Christian community gave its essential allegiance to its sovereign, the triune God. They only obeyed the emperor because their Lord required it, not because Rome demanded it. Rome preferred immoral, dishonest, and lawless citizens to Christians because the lawlessness of the Roman populace was not based on a religious premise, but a desire to get whatever one could, lawfully or unlawfully. There was no religious threat in all this. No Roman who was lawless was ready to die for his faith in hedonism. We have a like situation today, whether in the Soviet Union, Red China, the United States, Canada, Australia, or any other country. It is the Christian who is increasingly viewed as the enemy of the state as he stands in terms of the crown rights of Christ the King. He thereby challenges the sovereign claims of the state in the name of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 15. Increasingly, in the eyes of the sovereign state, this is the unforgivable sin.